My name is Kelly Quinn. I am part of the Meskwaki tribe, the Standing Rock Nation in Tama, Iowa. I helped organize this to coincide with the Native Nation March on Washington, D.C. That's actually happening right now as we speak. Woo! Send that support out to them. They set up a teepee camp on the National Mall this week. I believe that started on the 7th, so they've been speaking to different legislators within Congress, speaking to the Native American committee under the Trump administration, seeing where they can get with that. Someone needs to be there to open that dialogue. That's a very important part. Other than that, we've been trying to keep an eye on any photos, any live streams coming out of DC this week. So we've seen some really cool photos of the teepees with the National Mall in the background. It makes for a very, very awesome visual. And I totally wish I was there, but I am here for us. So let's do this. So this kind of came around through the pipeline fight. Dakota Access, of course, is the big one, and before that, it was Keystone XL. So, and even now, there's more popping up. There's more fights across the United States, and that's what we want to bring awareness to in regards to respecting and honoring treaty rights. In Standing Rock, we saw that was a huge, huge issue. Dakota Access coming through on treaty land, and if that was respected and if the government honored those treaties, we wouldn't have the issue that we do now. Dakota Access comes through Iowa, and as you all know, the eminent domain took that land from farm owners, basically illegally, definitely. Thank you, Governor.
No ban on snow.
Right there, go to China, stay there. Don't come back.
So the national organizers wanted to see solidarity throughout the entire nation. So they called for grassroots Indigenous organizers to show up in their own communities, and that's what we are trying to do here today. So thank you all for showing up. I know it's cold, but thank you for coming out and standing in solidarity with Indigenous peoples. We have a good lineup of speakers today. We have a little mix of everyone. So let's get going with that. First up, I have Shelly Buffalo, who is my aunt. She is a Meskwaki warrior woman. Woo! So she's going to talk a little bit about her work and what she does and how she is in this fight for all of us.
Forgive me, guys. I am running two cameras, so if anything goes out of focus or something, just shout at me and let me know.
Actually, I want to talk a little bit about Ochedi Shakowin camp. Ochedi Shakowin means 7 council fires in the Siouan language, which represents a confederacy of 7 groups within the Great Sioux Nation. The camp Ochedi Shakowin was located near Cannonball, North Dakota. This is from the camp homepage. Ochedi Shakowin Camp is a unified encampment of water protectors dedicated to protecting our land and water against the Dakota Access Pipeline. We value assuring the welfare of all people by honoring human rights, treaties, agreements, and cultures. Our goal is to peacefully and prayerfully defend our rights and rise up as one to sustain Mother Earth and her inhabitants. This is a poem I wrote to honor the camp and people at Standing Rock. This is dedicated to the 7th generation, those yet to be born. 4 days in Ochedi Shakowin. The moon and stars above Standing Rock, undiminished by the aggressor's Klieg lights, remind us of the infinity that cannot be bought, my love. We laughed when our little recon warriors, the bee-buzzing drones, smaller than your backpack, my love, made mockery of the circling helicopter, attempting to intimidate. That damn helicopter, ha-ha. Dawn till dusk, its futile track above our heads failed to drown out the calls of migrating geese and the voices singing around the drum. In that river basin of poor cell signal and low or dead batteries, I forgot the lighted screen and remembered the beauty of authenticity in your face, my love. In the center of the universe, we felt all the suffering of humanity and took courage in loving kindness. My love, on the hill where I screamed out all of my despair, you hugged me tight, even though we did not know each other before. Men and women wept openly, then laughed loudly, giving a child a piggyback ride up a sledding hill. As the Buddha faced Mara, we faced brutality with a pledge of no harm, the medicine of Standing Rock. There at Standing Rock, small aircraft were used by Energy Transfer Partners and the police as not only surveillance, but also to harass and intimidate water protectors in the camps. From dawn until dusk, a helicopter circled, only taking breaks to refuel. The Special Forces veteran camped next to us was unfazed. As a Vietnam vet, he told us that coming to Standing Rock to protect the water protectors was finally a chance to do something good as a soldier. During the 1950s, he grew up in the forests of Cambodia. His father was CIA. He knew more about what was going on at Standing Rock than many of us there. What he said was chilling. If we don't stop this here and now, this is the future for all of us. As an Indigenous person, interdependence within a natural system is implicit. You can imagine then how painful it is to see the exploitation of the earth in the name of reaping resources. Those in power who control the narrative portray us as violent savages. The propaganda spread about the camp is that we are polluters and dirty. Yet not only does our culture align with natural law, it aligns with human law. This land is where your ancestors found freedom, because liberty was institutionalized by our people long before Columbus. The early colonists never experienced liberty, personal autonomy, self-governance, or freedom until seeing it firsthand, institutionalized by the tribes of the East Coast. It's not surprising then that many Americans think they are a little bit Indian, because they are, at least in their ideologies of what it means to be an American. Nor is it surprising that Indigenous people are alerting you to the truths about this flawed democracy. They are saying, wake up. We will carry the embers from the fires of Ochedi Shakowin to the four corners of the earth. I leave you with words from John Trudell, American Indian activist, poet, and musician. The great lie is that it is civilization. It's not civilized. It has been literally the most bloodthirsty, brutalizing system ever imposed upon this planet. That is not civilization. We must go beyond the arrogance of human rights. We must go beyond the ignorance of civil rights. We must step into the reality of natural rights, because all of the natural world has the right to existence, and we are only a small part of it. There can be no trade-off. And lastly, this is something I have to keep in my heart every day. No matter what they ever do to us, we must always act for the love of our people and the earth. We must not react out of hatred against those who have no sense.
It's hard to follow the heartfelt words, and hope I can get through this because it's so true. I'm one of the members of Iowa Citizens for Community Improvement, Iowa CCI. We have representatives out in D.C. today from CCI. Jan Wan, who's been up at Standing Rock more times than I can count. Eli Shepard, he's from Grinnell, that's been fighting like for example, the Divest from DAPL fight down at Grinnell. They are representing us at Rise with Standing Rock Native Nations in D.C. But you all are representing us, and it does my heart good. You know what? Oil is not flowing through DAPL, but the thing is, are we going to stop it?
Yeah!
Because you know what? We may not stop it right off the bat, but the tide has turned.
Sure has.
And why did the tide turn? Because we all stood up, then Standing Rock ignited it globally, and the tide has turned. It's because of people. It's because of all of you out there. It's because of people. The proportions by the camps at Standing Rock were just phenomenal. And what it did is it reminded us how much we owe to Native nations. We have forgotten. We have forgotten what it is to respect our mother. We have forgotten what it is to have community.
Yes.
Well, now that we have a government that doesn't seem to remember that either, we're also wondering what's happening to all our local institutions. And I don't know how many of you saw what happened at Iowa State recently, but of course they're spending money through the pipeline of dirty money that has driven this whole pipeline from North Dakota down to Patoka, Illinois, and now shame on Iowa State. Shame on Iowa State because they took a $600,000 bribe to study the effects on the soil in Iowa of a pipeline. Now tell me, are they a little late?
Yes.
They're too late. We're seeing this for what it is. This is more money. Where's the people? We're the people, and we are turning the tide. So never forget that. We've got a lot of people that are speaking today. I just want to let you know that we are still working. We will not stop. This is not the only fight, because we will not let those with lots of power and money who think they control everything, we will not let them forget that it's the people who control things. And we have shown that, and we will continue to show that. Woo!
Oh, ni gandib. Ashita nedishes. Again, one week soon. I just told you my traditional name, which is Ashita, the Swan clan, the Swan people. My name is sort of like a little story. It's a swan that is flying, and it looks down, and it has chosen a place that it wants to land. And instead of landing on that spot, it goes beyond and lands. And we believe in our names. We carry those from our ancestors, and they're a huge responsibility. And I feel like many times I have lived out my name, and this happens to be one of those things. Oftentimes I have found myself in this fight for our mother and for our water alone. A lot of times I have been on ceremonial walks and runs with just maybe one other person, or a lot of times on my own, just with myself. So I've been doing this for a long time, for many years, and I actually would say that I started when I was probably about 15 in high school. And probably also kind of wonder, well, who is she? She's not really anybody. But that's just the point, you know. We can all do something, even as individuals in our everyday life. We make choices every day. We choose how we eat. We choose what we drink. And those are small things, but those are things that can make a big difference every day. So that's who I am. And also as a mother and as a member of the Swan clan, I have a huge responsibility to be to take on this fight, and to join all of you. And this is the huge thing about Standing Rock in particular, is that it brought so many of us together. People that have not, had any kind of inkling as to what we've been going through as Native people for a really long time. So I also wanted to mention as an anthropologist. I have my degree in anthropology from Cornell College. And one of the things that we learn is that at a certain point, civilizations, they crumble. After a certain point, after a certain amount of growth, they collapse. And we're really at that point right now, and I hope that everyone,
We're not alone. We're not alone.
we're at that point right now. We are really at that point right now. We think that global, that's such a great, beautiful word. It is. The diversity that we have, that's beautiful. But the honest truth is that we have grown bigger than our britches, right? So we have less than 30 years left of these resources that cannot be put back. And I thank you all for being here. And I don't feel so alone anymore. And I'm going to sing one song for you before I take my place among you all. But this is a song that speaks to above, because we raise everything above ourselves. And it's, I guess a loose translation would be our Father above, but it's symbolic in that anything that is important to us, we raise that above ourselves, and we honor that. So. Up and make it way to get, up and make it way to get, up and make it way to get goose and I. Kana penaya hotoyos paya kanaya ne we hawane wakuse naya. Up and make it way to get, up and make it way to get goose and naya. Up and make it way to get, up and make it way to get, up and make it way to get goose and naya. Kana penaya hotoyos paya kanaya ne we hawane wakuse naya. Up and make it way to get, up and make it way to get goose naya. A member of the Bakken Pipeline Resistance Coalition. And what's so interesting about the coalition is that we were formed before Dakota Access was actually incorporated. We had news that Energy Transfer Partners wanted to put that pipeline through the water and the land of Iowa before they had even named the pipeline. And we stood in resistance. We formed a coalition to say no. And we formed a coalition that included our Indigenous brothers and sisters. We worked with Indigenous people in South Dakota and North Dakota, and we worked with our allies in Illinois to say no to this travesty. The Sierra Club began working with lawyers for the tribe at Standing Rock. We have been in partnership with Standing Rock for a long time. Our lawyers in Iowa brought a lawsuit on behalf of the earth and future generations here in Iowa. It wasn't just the tribes of Standing Rock that brought the federal lawsuit, but we stand together. We are asking the court for justice. You know that we have the most damaged state in the union here in Iowa, and we stand together here today to say no more. No more. We will not sacrifice our land and our water to greed or to oil. You know, the Sierra Club is one of the oldest environmental groups in the nation.
And we've apprenticed to our Indigenous brothers and sisters who taught us that a morally mature culture, excuse me, I have a cold and it's a little bit much yelling into this and standing for justice. But we understand that a mature culture, one that stands for the ethic of passing on clean air and clean water to future generations, requires that we learn the lessons that our Indigenous brothers and sisters have been teaching us all along. We stand together with you. We honor you for your resistance, for your work in all of these years to defend Mother Earth. We stand with you. We are not done yet. You have been in a struggle for 500 years, and we join that struggle now to stand with you for clean air, clean water. We've learned from you about the 7th generation and passing this on to future generations. We stand with you. We are not done yet. I want to know one thing before I step back from this podium. How many of you wrote a letter to oppose Dakota Access? How many of you made a call? How many of you were arrested?
No.
A bunch of you were arrested. These are people who took a stand, such a strong stand on behalf of clean water, that they were protesting an unjust law. Any law that allowed crude oil to go beneath our drinking water is unjust. And they stood up and were arrested for that cause. You might not know that at Standing Rock they had over 700 arrests, but we've had over 500 in Iowa. We've been part of this resistance for a long time. We stand with Standing Rock, and Standing Rock stands with us. Thank you.
Everybody, thank you all for being here and for standing with us all along. Over this time, I have gone to a few different properties, and I looked at the land and I looked at the scar, and it made my heart sad. It made me want to cry because the land has no say in what happens, but the people do. I talked to them. I felt their pain, and I realized they're not going to be able to grow anything on that land for 10 to 15 years. Now let's stop and think. While we're standing up for something like water, and we say water is life, every day what are you doing to make a change? What exactly are you doing? When you get your coffee, do you bring your own cup? Or do you take that styrofoam that's going to take how many years to break down? What do you do? When you sit there and you go to the doctor and they give you an ultimatum, do you change your diet, or do you take that pill and then tee it into the municipal water supply that then gets turned back over to somebody else to drink? Is that fair? Do you grow your own food? How many of you here have a garden? Can I see your hands? How many of you have helped somebody else start a garden? How many of you are going to stop today and then think about it? When you drive past somebody else's land and you see all that pretty green grass, you think that could be food. From here on out, I want you to suggest to other people, let's grow our own food. Let's take a minute to assess where our food came from. How far did it have to travel? And think about how many pipelines it took to get it here to your plate to feed and nourish your family. Or is it really? Do you stop and cook your own food? Or do you go and buy it from somebody who is intentionally out to kill you because you have no idea how many chemicals and ingredients are about to go into your body? Do you stop and think about that every time you eat? These are some of the things we have to stop and think about. Veggie thumper. That is what I do. I thump vegetables, and when people sit here and they tell me that they cannot make a change, I tell them they can. I used to ingest so many gummy worms, it is not even funny. That was my religion. It still is, but now I make it on my own. I have found it a way to make a change in my lifestyle, from making my own laundry detergent to my own deodorants to showing other people how to do the same. We are all in this together. This is all of our fight. Thank you for standing with us. I'm hoping that you continue to stand with us, and that when somebody else needs help, you turn to your brother and your sister and you offer a hand and you lift them up. You help them plant a garden. You help inform them about what is happening to our water and to our air, and how together we can change it, because we are all in this fight together. And right now, we are under siege. Christian Fist Power is, we got this. Thank you. Say a few words here today. So welcome, Manny.
Woo!
Yalishi, Wak, Oshti. said was my language, the good people of the four corners of the earth. We're gathered here in solidarity, and my name is Chuen Kitse, and it translates to Monkey Smile Speaks. And I am of Maya descent, born and raised in California. We are not the only ones that have, I realized growing up that we're not with the United States. And as I got older and started meeting other tribe people and chieftains, Black and European, and Asian, we all come from a tribe. And I was fortunate enough to meet people that know this. So I started realizing we're all tribal people. We're all indigenous to Earth. And the Earth is the mother and the father. Well, mostly the mother. We're mostly made out of water here. And it's true, you know, people talk about our civilization down in Mesoamerica. And to this day, they still teach that we were savages and that we created human sacrifices. And it wasn't like that. We did have our own civil wars, and it was an honor it was a warrior code of honor to be sacrificed in those altars. But it was nothing compared with what the Spanish and the Portuguese did to our people. And they justified it by doing it under the name of Creator. And we all know that Creator is not like that. Creator is not a racist. The Creator is love, and we know this. And we, people that were Standing Rock, I was there myself. And you know, Standing Rock, even though that they cleared the camps last week, you know, I went down there to help, you know, and clean up and move the camps to different locations. It's not over yet. It was never over. It's been 505 years. And it's not over until there's truly equality, and we bring back constitutional rights, human rights, indigenous rights worldwide, treaty rights. It won't be over until that happens. And also, I brought this flag with me, and this flag represents all the nations, the four corners of the world. And if we were to adopt this and come under one flag, you know, and still be an ally to the United States, we are traditional enemies of the state. We also became traditional allies of the state. But now they're showing their true colors again. That they want us to be traditional enemies against, even amongst ourselves. They tell us that if you're Lakota, you're supposed to hate Pawnee. You're supposed to hate Crow, Asharuk. You're supposed to hate Blackfoot, Siksikas. That we're traditional enemies. No, we're traditional allies as people of the Western Hemisphere and of the United States, because we helped the United States and Latino governments become a republic and parliaments in the Western Hemisphere. So, and I'm glad that I see the Germanics and the Celtics here with us. Now you're helping us become a nation. So let's continue this unity and let's keep fighting. If we become, if we truly have autonomy, sovereignty, you know, we can do more wonders than just stop pipelines. So let's keep uniting, and then it'll be easier to defeat them in this way. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Director. I want to pray first for everybody who's in D.C. What nobody understands is I was part of the runners that ran to D.C. with Lakota Youth, Shakwan Youth and Allies. We are the allies. A long time ago, we used to be enemies of the Lakota Nation. Now, today, because we have people that are threatening our water, we ally together for all people who want safe drinking water to live, because water is life. So I want to pray right now for everybody who's in D.C., my Lakota family and the runners, that I pray that they are safe, that nobody harms. 3 years I've been fighting this.
this pipeline because I understand how much it threatens our society in my state of Iowa, our land and our water. I've been telling Dakota Access Pipeline and Bridge and Energy Transfer Partners about the possible contaminations of our waterways. We matter a lot in the state of Iowa. Why don't we deserve that much respect in order for the governor or the Iowa Utility Board to look at safer ways to transport this oil if it has to go through my state? There are Iowans that depend on this land and this water and this whole state to live. We don't have professional teams in the state. We have universities. We grow mines. We grow children. We grow crops. We grow our people. You wonder why we're the first state in the caucus in the United States, because they value our opinions, and that's why we need to stand up and fight back. What you do when your rights are under attack, you stand up, you fight back. You use your voice. That's what we're teaching the youth. They ran for their lives over at Cannonball. This goes directly north of where their water intake is. It takes 30 minutes to get into some of their communities. When you can turn the faucet on, oil will come out of the water. This oil burns on water. We've already shown it to the state. You can burn this oil on the water. That's not right for my Iowans. I was supposed to go to D.C., but I chose to stay here and fight for my Iowa and for the people, because this governor is going to listen to what these people have to say. The pipeline doesn't go through my land. That doesn't matter. I will fight for all Iowans because I'm my Iowan first. I'm also Meskwaki. We understand that there were other Native nations here before us, and that's who we also stand up for. Somebody has to stand up for all these people and voice their opinion and say, this isn't right. We demand clean water. We have a right to it. We have a right to life. Water is life, and that's why we have to keep on them. These kids, they ran. They were from ages, the youngest we took was 3 weeks old.
Wow.
Ranging from 12 to 24. They ran all the way to Washington, D.C. This matters to them that much. It matters to all these children out here. And one of these kids is the cure for cancer. And one of these kids in their mind is the cure for Alzheimer's. Governor Branstad should understand that. There might even be a cure in one of these children's minds for Parkinson's disease.
That's why we call him Brain Dead. He doesn't understand anything.
Exactly. And that's why we have to open up his mind. I got arrested in his office demanding that he listen to these Iowans, at least their pleas for their water. If something happens to the water, I'm going to make sure everybody has safe, clean drinking water. A study came out that people drinking water nowadays surpass people drinking pop. What you also don't understand is Nestle has a contract that's already in place to supply the United States with water once the water goes bad. That's already been negotiated a few years ago. That's why I started standing up. Everybody needs water to live. Have you watched somebody dehydrate for 5 days and then die? Somebody dying of dehydration is pretty bad. And in life, in the beginning, you breathe water in your mother's womb before you breathe air. That's how important water is to life. And when you see elders dying at the end, what do they ask for? They ask for a drink of water. How is that not a priority in the state of Iowa? You look at all our earth, black gold is what they call it. We value it. We pride ourselves in it. This is our land. These are our people. We are all private landowners. My tribe purchased our land in 1857, 11 years after Iowa became a state. It doesn't matter if it's a Republican or Democrat. We're still going to work with these people in this building. We're not leaving. We don't expect anybody else to go looking for clean water. That's why we stand up for our water and stand up for our rights. This brought to light a slippery slope situation for my United States citizens. It attacks their First Amendment, and that's what you have to protect. Your freedom of speech, your freedom of religion, your freedom to protest. Woo! And that's why we're here today. We have to keep voicing our opinion. No matter what anybody says, you have a right to be. I have a right to be here as a Meskwaki woman, as an Iowan. So do you, all of you. And if you understand understand what Trump is doing. Every woman deserves to be here, deserves to be respected. Once you take care of the women in the society, everything else will fall into place. The men will be taken care of. The children will be taken care of. We understand this land. That's all we strive to do, is take care of people. We don't understand why it's a woman's nature, but that's what we do. We take care of kids. And so now we have to take care of this land and this water. I'll get arrested again, demanding that the governor listen to these Iowans and the pleas for their water. I have one water protector ally who's been arrested 9 times, and she dared me to catch up to her. So I said, but being in jail makes no difference if you have no clean water. And so I'll get arrested as many times as I have to in order for the governor to listen. And I won't go away. I'll be the fly in his ear. I'll be annoying. I don't care. Somebody has to. So let me do that, and you guys keep voicing your opinions. You guys keep spreading the word. You don't give up. I won't give up on you guys.
Yeah!
Today, we all have to ally together. The only thing that matters is your blood type. That's all I care about. I don't care what religion you practice, what color you are, what your hair is like, what you wear, who you want to sleep with. I don't care about any of that, because we're all human beings that depend on water. And that's what I care about, is human beings on this earth, wherever they are, all over the world. And that's what we have to do. They say you can gauge the health of your nation by looking at their women, how you take care of your women. Once the hearts of your women are on the ground, that'll be the fall of your nation. And that's why we have to uplift women and our children. After that, everybody else will be taken care of. We know how important men are in our society, just as important as women are. And that's why we have to stand up for ourselves and start voicing our opinions. We matter in the state of Iowa. Why doesn't the governor see that? Why don't our elected officials see that?
They're paid by the Koch brothers.
We already know Dakota Access already contributed to most of their campaign funds last year. It's public knowledge. Well, they need to start working for us. We need to start advocating for ourselves. And if you can't, well, just, don't deter anyone that is trying to help everybody. These people should be making laws for the benefit of if not everybody, most of everybody, not just themselves or some certain few.
Right.
What does it say on the Iowa flag? We pride ourselves in our liberties and our rights. And by golly, that's what we're going to do from this day forward. For all Iowans. Because these children matter. You think when parents started doing this kind of stuff, advocacy and all this kind of work 30 to 40 years ago. Even before I was born, they were doing this kind of stuff. That's why I do this now, not for me, not for my family, not just for my tribe, for you guys, for these kids. Because in 30 to 40 years, I don't want them to go through what I'm going through now, just trying to fight for water. Are they going to have to look for clean water when they're 40, 50 years old? I sure hope not. I pray every day they don't. And that's why I will keep making myself tired and keep speaking up and keep doing this. My Lakota family is in D.C. They're still fighting for this. But my family is here in Iowa, all of these Iowans, and that's where I'll stay and fight with you guys. We need to heal. All of us need to heal. And that will take water. I'm fighting this so much and advocating for it. I need to stop your marriage because that's how important this is, and I gotta keep going. I'm not gonna stop for nothing until we stop this pipeline. As long as no oil flows through that pipe, we are still winning. And they say one day they are gonna start the oil flow through those pipes. So we need to keep praying. Our prayers are heard. Pray in your own way, pray in your own language. It doesn't matter, just pray together. Because it does work. We prayed a lot when we ran, even when our legs try to give up. and we made it. We lost probably like 20 pounds, but our prayers made it. And that's what we'll keep doing. So if there's nothing more you can do, all least you can do is keep spreading it through Facebook, all your social media outlets. Keep talking to your friends. You're going to come across people. But in all their drinks, even in their beer, is water. And yes, we can get to places without cars. It'll take a while. We got from Flagstaff to Cannonball in 7 days, running non-stop.
Woo!
It can be done. So don't let them deter you about saying, you know, well, oil is important too, not as important as water. So I am tired, but I'll keep fighting. I love you guys. I pray for you guys all the time. I might not know all of you personally, but this is still my state of Iowa, and I want to protect it. Just like the governor should be, but that's okay. Forgive him. That's what we have to do. He's a pitiful human being too, who needs water.
Good riddance to him, China.
No, he doesn't.
But even the most pitiful human beings we have to pray for. Even Kelsey Warren, you know, he doesn't know what's right or wrong. But that doesn't mean we have to change what we're doing or how we love or how we care about people. It's not going to stop us from fighting for this water or our rights for human beings. And with that, I thank you for listening to me.
Thank you very much, Danielle. You know, to be honest, out of all the speakers here today, she was my #1 pick because I know how passionate she is about this fight, and she's actually, this has been her life. Like she said, she has sacrificed so much for all of us. So thank you, Danielle, for everything. Right now, we're gonna kind of get you guys moving, get you warmed up. Are you guys still cold? Pretty cold? There we go.
Oh, here we go.
All right, let's go through them. We're going to do each one 3 times. Minnie Wachoni! Minnie Wachoni, water is life! Minnie Wachoni, water is life! Minnie Wachoni, water is life! All right, you remember this one? Show me what solidarity looks like! Show me what solidarity looks like! Show me what solidarity looks like! Alright, I say you can't drink oil, you say keep it in the soil! You can't drink oil! You can't drink oil! You can't drink oil! Alright, and we're thinking about good old Nestle right now. So I say whose water and you say our water. Whose water? Whose water? Whose water? And water is sacred, and you say water is life. Water is sacred.
Water is life.
Water is sacred.
Water is life.
Water is sacred.
Water is life.
I'm going to say, what do we do when different things are under attack? And you're going to say, stand up, fight back. We're going to go through the whole list. What do we do when our Native brothers and sisters are under attack?
Stand up, fight back.
What do we do when water's under attack?
Stand up, fight back.
What do we do when water protectors are under attack?
Stand up, fight back.
What do we do when our women are under attack?
Stand up, fight back.
What do we do when our civil rights are under attack?
Stand up, fight back.
And what do we do when tribal sovereignty is under attack?
Stand up, fight back.
That's right. Now take this message to your neighbors. Don't listen to the lies from Morton County. Don't listen to the lies from the guy in here and the guys over there. Listen to your gut, and your gut knows that we are in this together and we will win.
Water is beer. Protect it. Water is coffee. Protect it.
So that concludes our speakers. I want to thank you guys again for coming out and braving the cold. I guess in closing, what I want to say is, gosh, actually, to protect and care for our planet. It's going to take all of us to stand up, speak out. Exactly. We are just custodians. We are the stewards of our planet. If we run out of clean water, what are we going to do? What are we going to leave behind for the children? For our children? Grandchildren? You know, it's not just us right now. It's going to be us, the people who come after us. What are we leaving for them? We speak up. It's about all of us. Every single one of us, everyone who comes after us. What are we leaving behind? It's up to us to protect this. So that means speaking up. That means speaking out. Even if you're uncomfortable doing so, fight through that. You know, I'm not a big public speaker. All right, thanks. You know, this is just something that I have felt very passionate about. And when you find that passion, you use it. Use it for good. Take care of yourself. Take care of your communities. Take care of each other. Take care of your tribe. It really is full circle. It's all of us. Thank you to all of the allies that I see right now out here standing up with everyone in DC right now. That's why we're here. We want to bring attention to the need to respect and honor Indigenous treaties throughout the entire United States, throughout the world. Because we were the original stewards of the land. You know, we grow up learning to respect everything around us, respect Grandmother Earth. We take care of her. And now it's everyone. It's going to be up to all of us to come together to see this through. Because we need clean water to live. And everything in the recent, headlines with waterworks, and it's disheartening. But you got to fight through that. Fight through it. Find strength in each other. Find strength in, Facebook groups, message boards. You don't have to be neighbors. You can live in the same city. You can live on the other side of the state. As long as we're all doing this together as a team. Because that's what it's going to take.
Woo!
So, again, thank you for all coming out. We do have a table right over there. It's where you can sign up to receive any updates as far as what Rise Iowa is doing. We hope to have more events coming up, so we'll get that off the ground. So if you want to leave your information, we also have postcards. Dude, it's cold. That you can fill out. We will be sending those to legislators. So if you want to quickly fill out a postcard talking about, whatever your concerns might be in regards to a pipeline or honoring treaties, Indigenous treaties.
And near Williamsburg, after Cannonball or Standing Rock Camp was dismantled or evacuated or bulldozed over, whatever you want to call it. We spread out and put camps every place around the United States. We have one near Williamsburg, Iowa. Indigenous Iowa.
Oh, he just set it up.
The one in Iowa is up. It's called Little Creek Camp. You can look at Indigenous Iowa and get the address for it. But it's a healing camp. And if you want to go there, I advocate or recommend that you guys go there. And it's to learn Indigenous ways in the environment and how to live off the grid or as close to off the grid as you possibly can and get back to nature and living how we used to live a long time ago as Indian people, Native people in this country. And so we would like to share that with everybody and have it be a healing time for everybody because we all need to unite as a people, not depending on colors or race, but as human beings together. So I invite you guys all to come down there every once in a while. It'll be open. I'll be going there eventually once I get everything squared away and on myself. But believe me, it's not as cold as Cannonball. This isn't Cannonball. This is Iowa, okay. We don't have blizzards like that, but I've been to Cannonball about 8-9 times and was there during the blizzard and when the veterans went there. So it's a good experience. I missed it, but you know, we spread the fires every place else and look for us in the future. We will be running to Flint, Michigan in the near future to bring awareness to the fact that they still do not have clean, fresh water. It's almost 2 years now. We do not want another Flint, and we will not be another Flint here, and that's why we will stand up and rise for our rights.
If you want to fill one out and address any concerns. Again, thank you for coming out.